Now I just want to share with you my experience in development and how it actually started. So just before the last recession, over 12 years ago, is when I actually did my first development. And by then we were doing buy-to-lets and HMOs and getting very comfortable with that. It was a cookie-cutter model, regular, ongoing. And it was only when I got into my first development, only because my architect actually just pushed me into this. I had no reason really to do a development. I didn't really know that we could actually take it to another level. And to be fair, I was kind of like stuck in the way of, we were making money, but it was just the normal thing, buying more buy-to-lets, doing it the right way, buying more HMOs, making more money, consistent. And I'd never thought about a development, although it was a real aspiration. And when my architect said, Cam, why don't you do a new build and I will help you with this, was the time when I thought, are you really going to help me with this, John? Are you going to help me with this? If you're going to help me with this, then maybe it's something that we can actually do. John being John, in his in his senior 60s, a man with a lot of love and care and a bit of fun as well. He was a real charismatic person. I say he was. I'll explain why in a moment. We started a development. So we started a full-on new development, right in the middle of a city town in the center, where it was a very tight site. It was my first one, and I knew that I had John on board and he was helping me out with this. And because of the confidence that gave me, we started that. Now this was pre-recession. This was at the peak of the market. All hunky-dory, great, lovely, finance arranged. I thought, oh, this is really easy, really great, excellent. Then what happens? The recession hits. Prices fall. And John passes away. I used to meet John every couple of weeks. He'd be on site and we'd always go to the Greasy Spoon, have a little bit of breakfast, and breakfast was always on me, of course. And I remember that our last meeting, he actually said, Cam, I'm going to buy you breakfast today. And I said, no, you don't need to do that, John. Being a senior person, and being the life of the party. He said, no, I'm going to buy you this breakfast today. Little did I know that was the last time I was going to ever see him. So as he was quite jovial and, we can all be a little bit cheeky and friendly, I called up his office. It was a small office. It was him and his wife. And there I am speaking and saying, I haven't seen Joe for a while. What have you done with him? He hasn't run away with someone, has he? And his wife says, haven't you heard? Heard what? And she explained that he'd got a blood clot. Overnight, he was sent into intensive care. And he passed away. So first of all, my immediate thoughts were about him, his family. I was like in proper shock because I could remember the breakfast I just had with him, the previous week. And then my thoughts turned to, the person I was talking to, and I felt so silly, just knowing that I was being jovial, but I didn't know, did I? I didn't know that what had happened. And then my thoughts turned to my project. There I was with the project, half completed. We'd literally had the steelworks come in, and John was in control of the whole lot. Now, the bank that I was dealing with right at that point, because the lending was over $500,000, and because it was in the recession, what happened, just pre-recession, where banks stopped lending and so on, what the banks do is, if it's a loan of this particular bank, if the loan was over $500,000, it gets accelerated to the their global department, and it flags up if it's over $500,000, and you get a specialist manager. Now let me explain what a specialist manager is. A specialist manager means that you are 3 months away from repossession. Halfway through a project, the specialist manager turns up. His name was Nick. I remember him, short guy, glasses, he kind of looking at me with this Gestapo look he was giving me as he walked into the half completed structure. No brickwork, just the ceilings, the slabs had gone in, and the steelwork was standing up, and we were literally standing on concrete. And he says, you were supposed to finish this in 18 months, 12 months we were supposed to finish this in. It's now 18 months and you haven't finished the project. Now, at that point, I didn't know what to say. There was no reason what could I say to them? What would I, what should I say? So I just shared my heart and I said, look, Nick, I've been keeping up every single payment that needs to be made. Each monthly payment has been kept up. But what I didn't expect was my project manager to pass away halfway through a project. I don't know what to do. What's next? And as I said these words to Nick, and what I've noticed is when you're dealing with people, when you're very transparent and you're open, that people do amazing things that you would never expect them to do. So Nick, being a specialist manager, actually turned around and said to me, Kam, I'm going to help you with this. And first thing he did was he actually froze all of our payments, because we'd been paying on a regular basis every month, and in fact we'd overpaid. So there was actually a buffer there which was actually extending into the capital that had been deployed. So he froze that first of all. He gave us some breathing space of 6 months, and he gave me time to actually finish the project. Now, the man was really a lifesaver, within this bank, because at the end of the day, it really was his decision. At the same time, developers, if you're listening to this and you're a developer, maybe you can relate to this, or maybe these are things that are going to be coming up for people, and we'd work our numbers out, but it was just a case of the project manager. So Nick would annoyingly call me every 2 to 3 times a week and ask me the exact same question. Now, most developers would lose their patience with that. So I'd look at the phone, see it's Nick calling, take a deep breath, take the phone call, yes, Nick, and I knew before he even asked me the question what the question was going to be. So I'd answer the question again and again with the patience, keeping that patience. And you know what? He even commented that not a lot of people answer his phone every time, and not a lot of people, they get a bit frustrated with him and so on. And he was so sort of so happy that the fact that we dealt with this in the right way. And here's the thing, I'm not mentioning the bank, because I got an email from him saying once the project was completed, about to be completed, I got an email from Nick saying, we are reducing your mortgage rate by another 0.75%. And I'm thinking, heck, what? Hey, how did that happen? Where does that come from? What I didn't realize was I then got a following email 2 weeks later to say that he was actually leaving the bank, and that I would now be putting back into the normal relationship with a normal relationship manager. I thought that was really kind of him. Don't you think? Think about what you're getting into. Think about where we are in the market right now. So we're developers, we develop now, but we're very conscious with the numbers. We're very conscious of how you do developments with the team that you have around you. We're very conscious of the time frame. And this is why I share with people on how you can actually do this correctly. And just keep in mind that people will always help you.